what's really funny is the fucking bank job away in Sea Caucus. I'm in the middle of the fucking weeds, laying down. He comes over, he says, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm resting." "Here, you're resting."
In Goodfellas, director Martin Scorsese created one of the most iconic mob films ever. But did you know some famous scenes were actually cut or changed? In this video, we'll explore the infamous scene that didn't make the final cut and the story behind why it was left out. A brief synopsis of Goodfellas' production. Goodfellas is based on the book Wise Guy by New York crime reporter Nicholas Pileggi. When Martin Scorsese came across a review of Pileggi's book, he was immediately intrigued. He hadn't intended to make another mafia film, but the story captured his attention as he felt it was the most authentic portrayal of the mob lifestyle he'd ever encountered. Scorsese was so moved by the book that he wanted to convey the allure and thrill of gangster life. So in just a few minutes, the film establishes the personalities of the three main characters. The scene is unsettling and gripping. It lays the groundwork for the story, hinting at the dangerous lives these men lead. However, in the film's first version, this scene was even more intense. Scorsese initially depicted multiple stabbings in the original cut. Early test audiences, unprepared for the scene's level of violence, reacted very strongly. Some viewers were so disturbed that they walked out of the screening. Studio executives worried that the brutal opening might overwhelm audiences and prevent them from fully engaging with the story. They believed that starting the film with such a graphic sequence could overshadow the rest of the plot. Concerned about losing the audience's attention so early, the studio approached Scorsese to suggest changes. Scorsese, known for his intense cinematic vision, was also pragmatic. He understood the importance of balancing his artistic choices. After considering the feedback, Scorsese made a compromise. Instead of showing all 7 stabbings on camera, he limited the scene to only 3 stabbings. The remaining stabbings are left to the audience's imagination. He also enhanced the impact of these off-screen stabbings with haunting sound effects, letting viewers fill in the blanks. This seemingly small change had a powerful effect. By leaving parts of the violence to the viewer's imagination, Scorsese managed to maintain the scene's intensity. This also made it more acceptable to a wider audience. The balance between explicit and implied violence allowed the sequence to keep its impact without overwhelming the audience. When the adjusted version of Goodfellas was later shown, audiences responded more positively. The opening was praised for its effectiveness in setting the tone of the film. It blended casual dialogue, sudden bursts of violence, and the controversy surrounding Spider's death scene serves as a valuable lesson about the power of conviction in filmmaking. It reminds us that art, at its best, should not shy away from difficult subjects. It should push boundaries and make us think, even if it's uncomfortable. In the case of Goodfellas, the unflinching portrayal of violence was integral to the film's success and to the truth it sought to communicate. Today, Spider's death is one of the most iconic scenes in film history, cementing its place as a key moment in the cinematic landscape. It's a brutal reminder of the price of ambition and the fleeting nature of life in the fast lane. Through this powerful scene, Scorsese shows us that sometimes the most uncomfortable truths are the ones that resonate the most. That's my mom. In Goodfellas, one of the most memorable scenes involves Martin Scorsese's mother, Catherine. This short but impactful moment, which takes place during a dinner at Tommy's childhood home, almost didn't make it into the final cut of the film. The movie, which spans several decades, is filled with fast-paced scenes of crime, betrayal, and violence. The studio worried that this slower, more emotional moment would break the tension and slow down the momentum of the story. They even considered cutting it all together. Martin Scorsese, however, had a different perspective. He believed that this scene was crucial to understanding the complexities of Tommy's character. It showed that despite his capacity for extreme violence, Tommy was still, in his mother's eyes, the same child she had raised. This tender moment between them, where she hugs him and praises his painting, underscores the emotional contrast within Tommy. It offers a brief glimpse into his vulnerability and humanizes him in a way that the other violent scenes do not. Luckily, the test audiences responded positively to the scene. They found the moment touching and appreciated seeing this softer side of the character. It provided a much-needed break from the violence and offered a contrast to Tommy's usually explosive temper. In fact, authenticity to the portrayal of an Italian-American family. Instead of feeling out of place, the scene helped to deepen the emotional connection between the audience and the characters. It reminded viewers that even in a world defined by crime and brutality, the characters still had personal lives and family ties that shaped who they were. The positive reaction from the test audience made the studio reconsider its initial stance. They decided to keep the scene in the film, which turned out to be the right choice. It's now remembered as one of the most touching and memorable moments in Goodfellas. In a film that is filled with cold-blooded violence and raw, gritty realism, this brief scene offers a moment of warmth and humanity. Looking back, the decision to keep the scene is a testament to the importance of trusting one's creative instincts. Scorsese believed in the emotional depth this scene could bring, even if it meant slowing down the film's pace for just a moment. It also highlighted the delicate balance filmmakers must maintain between telling a compelling, fast-moving story and allowing room for moments that add emotional depth to the characters. The success of the scene underscores the value of small, unexpected moments in filmmaking that linger in the mind long after the movie ends. In Goodfellas, the dinner scene with Tommy's mother adds nuance to the story. But in reality, Henry Hill was actually about 7 years older than Tommy DeSimone. Their first encounter didn't happen like it did in the film. Henry's actual first arrest took place when he was just 16 years old, long before he would even meet Tommy DeSimone. So, what exactly happened during Henry's first arrest? It wasn't nearly as dramatic as the film made it out to be. Henry's real-life first run-in with the law occurred when he and a friend named Lenny tried to use a stolen credit card to buy snow tires for Lenny's aunt. The two teenagers were caught when they returned to the house, and the police soon arrived to arrest them. But just like in the movie, Henry refused to say anything to the police officers. All he would give up was his name. The arrest wasn't as cinematic or thrilling as it seemed in Goodfellas. In fact, the real story was a lot simpler. The most noteworthy part was Henry's silence. Even under pressure from the police, caught the attention of the real-life mobsters Jimmy Burke and Paul Vario. Jimmy, who would later become a mentor to Henry, admired his loyalty and toughness. Instead, it was designed to be a thrilling and entertaining portrayal of his rise in the world of organized crime. In a way, the fictionalized version of Henry's arrest actually helped to build up the character's reputation. In the film, Henry's unwavering loyalty and refusal to talk to the police solidified his status as someone who could be trusted in the mob world. At the end of the day, while the film took some creative liberties with Henry's first arrest, the key elements were still true to his character. The real Henry Hill was indeed a man who refused to cooperate with the authorities. This moment in his life did play a big role in his rise through the ranks of organized crime. The movie just made the event a little more exciting to watch, and in doing so, made it even more memorable for audiences. So, while Goodfellas may not have been a 100% accurate retelling of Henry Hill's life, it still captured the essence of his journey. By making small changes to events like his first arrest, the filmmakers created a more entertaining story that still honored the core truths of Henry's rise to power. Childhood friendship. In the movie, Henry Hill and Tommy DeVito are portrayed as inseparable friends who grew up together and worked closely in the world of crime. Their bond is one of the central relationships in the film, and it plays a significant role in driving the narrative forward. But the way their friendship is depicted in the film is not entirely accurate to what happened in real life. As their friendship grows over the years, the two become involved in various illegal activities together. The movie portrays the trio as a close-knit team, with Henry being loyal to Tommy and willing to do whatever it takes to help his friend. However, in reality, the friendship between Henry Hill and Tommy DeVito did not develop in quite the same way. While it's true that Henry and Tommy knew each other from a young age, they did not start working together as teenagers, as the movie suggests. In fact, according to Henry Hill's own account in the book Wise Guy, on which Goodfellas is based, the two men were not immediately inseparable. Although they both worked in the same criminal circles, their paths didn't cross in the way the movie shows. Tommy DeVito, whose character in the movie is played by Joe Pesci, was introduced to Paul Vario's crew when he was only 15 years old. Tommy is instead killed by his associates. The movie portrays Tommy's death as a result of his violent and unpredictable behavior, which makes him a liability to the other members of the crew. In reality, Tommy's death was equally mysterious. Like in the film, Tommy was reportedly led to believe he would be made, but he was ultimately killed. The exact circumstances of his death remain unclear, and no definitive evidence about his remains has been uncovered. Many theories surround his death, with the most widely accepted explanation being that Tommy was killed in retaliation for the murders of two men, Billy Bates and Ronald J. Givens. Some believe that Tommy's murder was orchestrated by Gotti himself, while others think that Paul Vario might have informed the Gambino family about Tommy's involvement in the deaths of Bates and Givens, leading to his death. The real-life mystery of Tommy's disappearance is one of the most enduring aspects of his story. Although his death is one of the most iconic moments in Goodfellas, the truth behind what happened to Tommy DeVito remains shrouded in uncertainty. Regardless of who actually killed Tommy, his sudden disappearance marked the end of an era for Henry Hill and the people close to him. Thanks for watching. Now you know a bit more about the famous scene that was cut from Goodfellas and the reasons behind it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Stay tuned for more behind-the-scenes stories and movie trivia in future videos.